Hola, hi everyone, and welcome back to Valeria's Couch Club. I'm Valeria, and these are the stars of the show, the Puck and the Chi. You can find us anywhere as the Puck, the Chi, and I. If you're joining me to practice our English or because you need a little push to actually finish a book, you are in the right place. Remember, every Monday is our day to sit together for a brand new chapter. So let's wrap a blanket, light a candle, get comfortable, and let's see what new adventure is Dorothy getting into. Today, we're starting chapter 6 of The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. But wait, before we start, we have to talk about the drama in chapter 5. Let's do a quick recap for the club. Dorothy and the scarecrow are walking through the forest when they hear a groan. They find a man made entirely of tin, stuck mid-swing with his axe. He's been roasted for a whole year. Can you imagine the boredom? Dorothy finds the oil can and oils his joints. Watching him come back to life piece by piece was so satisfying. But then he tells us his backstory, and honestly, it's a lot. He wasn't always thin. He was a real man who fell in love, but a wicked witch enchanted his axe, so he kept, well, cutting off his limbs. Is this for kids? Are we sure we're in the right book? Every time he lost a part, he replaced it with tin until he was all metal. But he lost his heart in the process. So now he's joining the squad. He's going to ask the wizard for a heart. He says he'd rather have a heart than brains because brains don't make you happy. Brain versus heart. The debate is on. Come and join me and find out what's more important on chapter 6. The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum, pictures by W. W. Denso. Chapter 6, The Cowardly Lion. All this time, Dorothy and her companions had been walking through the thick woods. The road was still paved with yellow brick, but these were much covered by dried branches and dead leaves from the trees, and the walking was not at all good. There were a few birds in this part of the forest, for the birds love the open country where there is plenty of sunshine. But now and then there came a deep growl from some wild animal hidden among the trees. These sounds made the little girl's heart beat fast, for she did not know what made them. But Toto knew, and he walked close to Dorothy's side and did not even bark in return. How long will it be, the child asked of the Tin Woodman, before we are out of the forest? I cannot tell, was the answer, for I have never been to the Emerald City, but my father went there once, when I was a boy, and he said it was a long journey through a dangerous country, although near to the city where Oz dwells, the country is beautiful. But I am not afraid so long as I have my oil can, and nothing can hurt the scarecrow while you bear upon your forehead the mark of the good witch kiss, and that will protect you from harm. But Toto, said the girl anxiously, what will protect them? We must protect them ourselves if he is in danger, replied the Tin Woodman. Just as he spoke, there came from the forest a terrible roar, and the next moment a great lion bounded into the road. With one blow of his paw, he sent the scarecrow spinning over and over to the edge of the road, and then he struck at the Tin Woodman with his sharp claws. But, to the lion's surprise, he could make no impression on the tin, although the woodman fell over the road and lay still. Little Toto, now that he had an enemy to face, ran barking towards the lion, and the great beast had opened his mouth to bite the dog when Dorothy, fearing Toto would be killed and heedless of danger, rushed forward and slapped the lion upon his nose as hard as she could, while she cried out, "Don't you dare to bite Toto! You ought to be ashamed of yourself, a big beast like you, to bite a poor little dog." "I didn't bite him," said the lion, and he rubbed his nose with his paw where Dorothy had hit it. "No, but you tried to," she retorted. "You are nothing but a big coward." I know it, said the lion, hanging his head in shame. I've always known it, but how can I help it? I don't know, I'm sure. To think of your striking a stuffed man like the poor scarecrow. Is he stuffed? Asked the lion in surprise, as he watched her pick up the scarecrow and set him upon his feet, while she patted him out to shape again. Of course he's tough, replied Dorothy, who was still angry. That's why he went over so easily, remarked the lion. It astonished me to see him whirl around so. Is the other one stuffed also? No, said Dorothy. He's made of tin. And she helped the woodman up again. That's why he nearly blunted my cloth, said the lion. When they scratched against the tin, it made a cold shiver run down my back. What is that little animal you are so tender of? He's my dog, Toto, answered Dorothy. Is he made of tin or stuff? Asked the lion. Neither. He's a meat dog, said the girl. Oh, he's a curious animal and seems remarkably small now that I look at him. No one will think of biting such a little thing except a coward like me, continued the lion sadly. What makes you a coward? Asked Dorothy, looking at the great beast in wonder, for he was as big as a small horse. It's a mystery, replied the lion. I suppose I was born that way. All the other animals in the forest naturally expect me to be brave, for the lion is everywhere thought to be the king of beasts. I learned that if I roared very loudly, every living thing was frightened and got out of my way. Whenever I meet a man, I've been awfully scared, but I just roared at him, and he was always run away as fast as he could. If the elephants and the tiger and the bears have ever tried to fight me, I should have run myself. I'm such a coward. But just as soon as they hear me roar, they all try to get away from me, and of course I let them go. But that isn't right. The king of beasts shouldn't be a coward, said the scarecrow. I know it, returned the lion, wiping a tear from his eye with the tip of his tail. It is my great sorrow and makes my life very unhappy. But whenever there is danger, my heart begins to beat fast. Perhaps you have a heart disease, said the Tin Woodman. It may be, said the lion. If you have, continued the Tin Woodman, you ought to be glad, for it proves you have a heart. For my part, I have no heart, so I cannot have a heart disease. Perhaps, said the lion thoughtfully. If I had no heart, I should not be a coward. Have you brains? Asked the scarecrow. I suppose so. I've never looked to see, replied the lion. I am going to the great ox to ask him to give me some, remarked the scarecrow, for my head is stuffed with straw. And I am going to ask him to give me a heart, said the woodman. And I am going to ask him to send Toto and me back to Kansas, added Dorothy. Do you think Oz could give me courage? Asked the cowardly lion. Just as easily as he could give me brains, said the scarecrow. Or give me a heart, said the Tin Woodman. Or send me back to Kansas, said Dorothy. Then, if you don't mind, I'll go with you, said the lion, for my life is simply unbearable without a bit of courage. You will be very welcome, answered Dorothy, for you will help to keep away the other wild beasts. It seems to me they must be more cowardly than you are if they allow you to scare them easily. They really are, said the lion, but that doesn't make me any braver, and as long as I know myself to be a coward, I shall be unhappy. So once more the little company set off upon the journey, the lion walking with stately strides at Dorothy's side. Toto did not approve of this new comrade at first, but he could not forget how nearly he had been crushed between the lion's great jaws. But after a time, he became more at ease, and presently Toto and the cowardly lion had grown to be good friends. During the rest of that day, there was no other adventure to mar the peace of their journey. Once, indeed, the Tin Woodman stepped upon a beetle that was crawling along the road and killed the poor little thing. This made the Tin Woodman very unhappy, for he was always careful not to hurt any living creature. As he walked along, he wept several tears of sorrow and regret. These tears ran slowly down his face and over the hinge of his jaw, and there they rusted. When Dorothy presently asked him a question, the Tin Woodman could not open his mouth, for his jaws were tightly rusted together. He became really frightened at this, made many motions to Dorothy to relieve him, but she could not understand. The lion was so puzzled to know what was wrong, but the scarecrow seized the oil can from Dorothy's basket and oiled the woodman's jaw, so that after a few moments he could talk as well as before. This will serve me as a lesson, said he, to look where I step. For if I should kill another bug or beetle, I should surely cry again, and crying rots my jaws so that I cannot speak. Thereafter he walked very carefully, with his eyes on the road, and when he saw a tiny ant toiling, he would step over it, so as not to harm it. The Tin Woodman knew very well he had no heart, and therefore he took a great care to never be cruel or unkind to anything. You people with hearts, he said, have something to guide you, and need never do wrong. But I have no heart, and so I must be very careful. When us give me a heart, of course, I needn't mind so much. And that was the end of chapter 6. What do you think, Ramona? Did you like it? Now the squad is complete. And I have an interesting question. If you were going to the Emerald City, what would you ask the wizard for? Please let me know in the comments. Also, if you like our little reading session today, please don't forget to leave your like and subscribe. I love reading these stories with you and practicing my English at the same time. And I have a little surprise for you. Today we're starting a new section, Chapter Essential, Palabras con Personality. The first word of the day is boastful, jactancioso o fanfarrón. This word is for that one primo who acts like he's the king of the party until a spider crawled on his shoulder. The lion was acting all boastful until Dorothy slapped him. O sea, mucho ruido y pocas nueces. Next one is Haughtily, altaneramente o con orgullo. Think of a diva walking into a room. The lion looked at the scarecrow haughtily like he was wearing the last season jacket. Use pure don't touch my crown energy. Cowardice, Cobardia, like when your heart says go but your leg says run away. The lion's cowardice is so relatable. It's like when you see a call from your mom at 2 a.m. Total panic mood. Am I wrong? Astonished, asombrado o atónito. This is the universal face of no puede ser. Everyone was astonished that a little girl defended her dog against a giant beast. Is the face we all make when the chisme gets really good. Listo. Now we're speaking English with alma and personality. But the story doesn't wait for anyone. In the next chapter, we are about to see the squad reach a massive ditch on the road. It's so deep and so wide that even the scarecrow is stumped. How are they going to get across without falling? But that's not even the scariest part. We are all about to meet the Cálidas. Imagine a monster with the body of a bear and the head of a tiger. If you want to know how they survive the Cálidas, come and join the Couch Club. You don't want to miss it. Stay cozy and see you on the couch for the next one. Adios.